Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the highly sought after but very hard to get Stealth Model 3, so if you're interested, stay tuned. So maybe you clicked on this video for exactly the title, what the heck is a sleeper or Stealth Model 3? So let me explain what this variant is, and I'll explain how you can chase one. So why us Tesla folks call this variant of the Model 3 the Stealth or Sleeper is because you get all the good stuff, which is the performance, and not all the flashy stuff. So basically what it is it's a long-range all-wheel drive car with a software unlock and track mode. So what that means is that you're getting the 3.2 0 to 60, which technically is actually lower. It's the Performance Model 3, the P3D Plus, is listed at 3.2, but in tests since this last power boost, it's gone down to about 2.9 seconds. So basically you get that, but then you don't get any of the flashy stuff. So you're going to get, so you're not going to get the spoiler, you're not going to get the red brakes, the suspension, or the big 20-inch rims. And you're getting all of this for just an extra $2K over the long-range all-wheel variant, which is about $49,000 right now. So basically this model is going to be the fastest model, faster than the P3D Plus, because it's lighter, but it has the same power as the P3D Plus. So one other thing I want to mention too is when I say P3D Plus and P3D Minus, us in the Tesla community refer to the actual Performance Model 3 that you see on the website with all the goodies, the speed, and all the flashy stuff as a P3D Plus. And basically the Stealth or the Sleeper is the P3D Minus because it has the power, but it doesn't have the flashy stuff. So my friend Steven actually was able to get one of these a few weeks ago. And so here's what it looks like in the wild. And it looks like a pretty normal long-range all-wheel drive, right? You can't see the red brakes. Obviously, you're not going to be able to tell the suspension. The only giveaway that it's a sleeper is that it has the red underlining under the dual motor badge. So this is one of the things that you would get with the P3D Plus. And so this is really the only thing that makes the Stealth stand out. And that's how you can tell that it is a Stealth, is when it looks normal, but it has this red badge. So I know Steven's car, the picture's a little bit far away. So here's the badge up close. Kevin, my buddy who has a P3D Plus, and you've seen him in the performance video, and he's been in a couple other videos and are on my channel since forever ago. So that's what the badge actually looks like up close. And so basically, I'm sure you're asking or you're thinking, well, if this is basically a long range all wheel, then why can't I just do a software unlock on the normal long range all wheel and be able to, just pay Tesla 2K for it and have the speed, but not all the flashy stuff? That's a great question. I'm going to answer that next. So it's a good question, but it's not all that easy. So one is basically, it's a 2K upgrade, yes, but Tesla probably doesn't want to alienate all their P3D Plus owners that have spent like 10 grand more than it's not 10 grand, it's about 9 grand more now than the long range all wheel to get all the stuff. So that's why this is kind of like the sleeper. This is a hard model to get because they don't want to piss off their people that have paid a premium for the top of the line Model 3. And my speculation is this is probably why this is an off menu item as well, is because they don't want everybody knowing about it. Only if you're like a real enthusiast and you really are into Tesla would you know about this variant. That way you don't piss everybody off that has a P3D Plus. And basically only some people are able to get this if they're willing to hunt and chase them. And number two, there's been a lot of speculation on the motors, on which ones the Stealths have. Is it the 990 motor or the 980 motor? So the newer long-range all-wheel drive models have the 990 motor, and for sure all the Stealth and Performance Model 3s, so the P3D Plus, have the 980 motor. And so if these two motors are different, or actually different motors, nobody knows, or if it's the same motor with just different part numbers, it could be that too. So there's been a lot of speculation, but nobody knows for sure which motors these Stealths have. So it is possible that they do have different motors, but I think a better speculation kind of explanation right now is that the performance motors are being binned by Tesla. So basically what that means is that all the performance motors are being tested by Tesla to make sure they can handle the power. And if those motors pass whatever tests they're doing, then those ones will be put in the Performance P3D Pluses and the Stealths. And so that would be the 980 motor. And so basically the ones that don't test as high and aren't as powerful, all of those will go into the long-range all-wheel drive variant. And so that's kind of the speculation about which motors he's have and all that type of stuff. And so we have our little Tesla group chat that me and my friends have. And so basically when I was talking to Steven last, he said that his VIN is actually a performance VIN. So basically that's kind of, for me, a confirmation that our speculation is right, that they are binning the motors, and basically that the performance and the stealths have a stronger motor than your normal long-range all-wheel drive motors. But again, this is all speculation, and we don't know for sure if that's actually true or not. And so this is why it's not just a simple answer as, yes, we can get a software unlock for the long-range all-wheel, because we don't know if the motors can handle it. And on top of that, you want to try to not be alienating your P3D Plus owners by giving all the long-range all-wheel owners a 2,000 plus upgrade for the same thing that the performance model owners paid for like $9,000. So it's kind of not fair. There's also the risk reward factor. So basically, if these stealth motors are binned, then if they just do a software unlock and give all the long-range all-wheel owners this unlock, there could be a lot of broken motors, which basically is going to not be good for Tesla, because that means they're going to have to warranty a lot of motors. And also, like I said, you're going to alienate your P3D Plus owners as well. So when this variant first showed up, probably 8 to 10 months ago, there was a lot of speculation that Tesla just messed up a P3D Plus batch and that they accidentally put the faster motors in this variant, but they didn't put all the showy stuff. And so at the time, that was what we thought. And it was just one batch and that was it. So if you were lucky enough to get one through inventory, or you just happen to walk into a store and you see one, then you're one of the lucky ones. But that's definitely not the case, because last weekend I was down in San Diego with some family and we were at the UTC Tesla store, and they had this sign sitting out there, just, for anyone walking by. So Tesla is definitely making this variant in batches, but they're keeping it on the DL, per se. And basically, only the people that really want them and feel like it's worth it to chase them will get this variant. So of course, right when I wrote up this video, Tesla announced that there was going to be an acceleration boost that was leaked. And so basically this all came out. And so basically what happened was Tesla announced that for the long-range all-wheel drive non-performance, that they were going to give only that specific variant a acceleration boost. And so it was 2K, and basically you would get 0.5 seconds faster. So from 4.4 to 3.9 seconds. And so basically I have another video on that. So I'll put the link up here. This way? Yeah, up here. If you want to hear more about that. But basically that also happened, and it kind of impacted this video, because earlier I was talking about the motors for the stealth and the performance possibly being binned. And so with this new news that we heard about this acceleration boost just for the non-performance, that kind of gives my, theory or speculation that the more powerful motors are binned, because basically they only gave it to just the one variant, the non-performance, and they only gave just a half a second faster, so 3.9 seconds, instead of going all the way to stealth mode or performance mode to 3.2 seconds. And so that tells me that, these motors, they have data that says that they probably can't handle it, or there's too much risk reward there, where basically if they were to give all the non-performance models the 2K upgrade that the stealths get, where you get 3.2 seconds, that too many of the motors are going to break. And that means that there's going to be too many warranty issues that they're going to have to deal with. And it's going to cost them more money than they're getting from this 2K more cash flow that's coming in for them. On top of that, the timing makes a lot of sense too. So it's middle of December now, and they're, doing this 2K upgrade. And for them, that's all it is a button, right? They push a button for a software unlock and they get more money. So it doesn't cost them anything, but the timing makes sense because basically it's year end right now, meaning that they are looking for more cash to pump up their cash flow for the end of the year financials, which makes a lot of sense from a business standpoint. And on top of that, maybe they're looking for a little bit more cash flow for capital investments or things like that, or maybe they're going to pump more money into China because they're really starting to ramp up the cars over there. And so actually I think just like today or yesterday, they had the first deliveries, those owners that had reserved, they notified them that their deliveries are going to be ready. And so maybe they want to put more money in China or something, or they just announced Berlin as well, that they had signed it. It still needs to get approval, but it's signed. And there was more stuff in Europe too, where basically they had just opened up new superchargers in Poland, I think. And so maybe they want more cash flow for that. So all this year-end 2K, here's a little something extra, makes sense because they're probably, obviously, like I said, financials and maybe more capital. Now for maybe the part you've been waiting for is, how do I get my hands on one of these stealths? So basically the first thing you want to do is go down to your local store or wherever the closest Tesla store is. You can't do this online. You have to go physically to a store and get hooked up with a sales advisor. And what you want to do is tell them, like, hey, I want a stealth. That's the only variant I want, and let me know when you get them. So what will happen is they will say, okay, we'll put your name down, we'll let you know, we'll keep you in the loop. And so basically what happens is nobody at the Tesla stores, none of the advisors know when these batches are coming in. They just come, the trucks come in, and basically what happens is once the truck comes in and the sales advisors at that particular store find out that they have a batch of stealths, what they do is they will tell all the other advisors and at all the other stores in the area, and then they'll also let their, clients, which would be you, know, hey, we got a batch of stealths. Do you want one? And so basically at that point, when you tell your sales advisor that you want one, you better be ready to pull the trigger because these things fly out the door super quick. And so basically what happens is once they tell you, you probably have 10 minutes to reserve one before they all get snatched up. So what I would do is, if you really want one, make sure that you have different variants in mind that you want. Not variants, but like combos. So black on white or blue on black or something like that, Make sure you have those in line with what you're willing to accept. Because if you want a stealth, you're going to have to compromise because they make them in batches. And so from what I've heard, the white interior is very, very rare. So you can almost cut that out and you're probably not going to get that. And also the 19-inch sport rims are hard to get, not impossible, but they're hard to get. So keep that in mind if you want a stealth. And basically it's going to be black interior for the most part. You're going to have probably the arrow hubs and what color. So make sure before you are ready to buy this and you tell your sales advisor you want one, make sure you have those variants, in your head, which ones you want. So when they give you that call, hey, we've got a batch of stealths. What color do you want? You know exactly what you want, so you can pull the trigger right there. Because like I said, if you wait and go, hey, give me like a day, when you call back the next day, their sales advisor is going to tell you they're all gone. So be ready for that and be ready to pull the trigger right away. So once you pick out which one you want, go ahead and put in that $100 reservation with that advisor, and then pretty much everything else should be the same. You should be able to pick it up in probably a week or so once they get it ready, depending how far you are from this particular store. And so one other thing I want to mention is, since you're not buying it online, there's no link for you to click for the referral code. So make sure that you give them somebody's referral code so you can get the free supercharger miles, and make sure they actually put it in. So a while ago, a lot of these advisors were actually using their friends' codes because they can't use their own. So they're using their friends' codes to give their friends free supercharger miles instead of whoever referral you were giving them. So make sure that they put in the one that you give them and make sure they actually do it. Because there's been tons of instances online where people are like, yeah, I gave them my code, but I never got the miles and my friend never got the miles. So make sure you pester them to show you proof that they actually put in the referral code that you're looking for, so your friend and you can get the supercharger miles. So hopefully this video was helpful in letting you understand what the Stealth or Sleeper Model 3 is. So now knowing that this variant isn't a fluke and now you know how to get it, does it entice you to want to get it with all the value you're getting for this 2K upgrade? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.